So sources for biofuel, sustainable aviation fuel, SAF, it could be used cooking oil, it could be palm oil, it could be a lot of things, right? But used cooking oil seems to make so much sense, right? Because there's recycling involved as well.
It's clearly a post-consumer waste, so the inherent carbon emissions of it is very low. But in my perspective, for us to be able to solve the bigger problem, the volumes that are really required would call for a diversified portfolio of feedstocks, starting with used cooking oil because, as mentioned, it's clean and it's low in emissions. But I think eventually we would see maybe 30, 40, 50 different types of raw materials eventually find itself into the mix.
Wow, okay. Man's coming on this.
That was actually going to be my question, Vinesh. Like at the moment, you're now using used cooking oil to convert into renewable biofuels. What's going to be next, considering there are so many, fats, greases, and oils out there in the world? What do you think is the most viable next source?
Yeah, so I think on this topic, the three main categories, right? So you've got virgin, you've got residue, and you've got waste. And in each of those three categories, there's going to be a fair level of discovery that's going to be conducted for the industry to be able to meet demands. But on the front of the waste, where we specialize, we've seen a variety of different other materials come into the fold, such as grease trap waste, the stuff you get in your sewers, animal tallow, palm oil meal effluent, which is essentially waste out of the palm oil production process, and many others like fish fat and fish tinning factories. As time goes by and as we discover more of these materials, we build supply chains around them that enable them to meet the biofuel requirements of the world.
Vinesh, would it be fair to say that the need and also the market for SAF, sustainable aviation fuels, can only grow and is likely to grow further simply because right now, as I understand it, airlines and aviation fuel, you can only use about a mix of 2 to 1. Only 50% of it can be sustainable. It's mainly for technological reasons, right? But, the boffins, the researchers, scientists are working on that, and they're likely to be able to use a much higher percentage or proportion of SAF soon.
Yeah, that's right. So we've seen these cycles a few times in road traffic fuels, in maritime, and now in aviation, right? Where you initially start with small levels of blends at blend levels, and eventually it gets up to 100%. But having said that, even if we are able to break through that technological requirement, would we be able to meet demand at 100%? Today, even at a 5, 6, 7% mandated levels, we're finding it difficult to get pure sustainable material into the mix. So really, from my perspective, not so much, I don't think the importance is in and around breaking through. It's about meeting the need today. And I think that one big factor or externality that will see this see the adoption increase is really crude oil prices.
Interesting. So the higher they go, the better the case for SAF.
That's right.
Gotcha.